From refusing to accept any criticism whatsoever to boldly defending recipes that customers absolutely hated, here's what happened to the restaurant owners that tried to fight Gordon Ramsay. Starting with Secret Garden, a French restaurant in Moore Park, California that was owned by Michel Bardavi, a classically trained French chef who had big dreams for his establishment. When the restaurant first opened, Michel was confident that his authentic French cuisine would win over customers, but the reality was far from what he had imagined. The restaurant was struggling badly, and Michel was drowning in debt. Despite the obvious problems, Michel refused to see what was really going wrong. He was convinced that his food was excellent and that customers simply didn't understand fine dining. When Gordon Ramsay arrived at Secret Garden,
well, I finally got in. Couldn't find the front door.
The front door is off the parking lot.
Well, I mean, I couldn't find it. So it's the best kept secret in Moore Park.
it didn't take long for things to get heated, because Gordon ordered several dishes from the menu, and what he tasted shocked him.
Dear God, for what we're about to receive, may the Lord not kill me with food poisoning.
The food was complicated, overworked, and frankly, not good. But when Gordon tried to explain this to Michel, the chef refused to listen.
I thought your food was crap.
That's a matter of opinion.
Michel got defensive immediately, insisting that his recipes were authentic French cuisine and that Gordon simply didn't appreciate his cooking style. Gordon fired back, pointing out that authentic or not,
I'm trying to get inside your mind so I can start breaking down
Okay.
how stupid you are.
the food wasn't working, and customers were staying away because of it. The argument escalated quickly, with Michel raising his voice and refusing to accept any of Gordon's criticism. He kept defending his menu, his cooking methods, and his vision. For the restaurant, Gordon tried a different approach, where he shut down the restaurant to make Michel understand what was wrong. But that escalated to an even bigger argument. Eventually, after hours of back and forth, Michel reluctantly agreed to try some of Gordon's suggestions, but it was clear that he wasn't happy about it. Gordon redesigned the menu, simplified the dishes, and gave the restaurant a fresh new look.
Very pretty. Oh my goodness.
And on relaunch night, customers loved the new food, and Michel seemed surprised by the positive response. But the damage had already been done, because Michel's attitude and stubbornness had created a reputation that was hard to shake. After Gordon left, things at Secret Garden briefly improved, and the restaurant saw an uptick in customers who were curious about the changes. However, according to reports, Michel slowly started reverting to his old ways.
Send a manager. Send a manager out here. Send a manager.
It's cold.
He began adding back his complicated French dishes and ignored the simplified menu Gordon had created.
Pick up now! Kitchen is closed!
Customer complaints were coming in again, and the brief success faded quickly.
Yeah, big
You're so
word.
full of shit. Open your eyes
Big
and
mouth.
look round.
Big mouth.
Secret Garden closed its doors permanently in March 2010, and the restaurant's failure was a direct result of Michel's refusal to adapt and listen to feedback. Today, the old Secret Garden location in Moore Park, California, has been taken over by another restaurant. Secret Garden proved that fighting Gordon's advice can lead to disaster, but the next restaurant owner took things even further. Flamingos was a restaurant in New Jersey owned by Adele and her husband Bill. The place had been open for years, but by 2011, it was on the verge of collapse. Adele was the head chef and the driving force behind the restaurant, but she was also incredibly stubborn.
No, we have big problems here.
Adele doesn't respect us.
Girls, we know.
Bill, her husband, tried to help manage the restaurant, but Adele refused to listen to him or anyone else. She was convinced that everyone else was wrong and that her recipes were perfect. When Gordon Ramsay arrived at Flamingos in 2009,
Lunch, so I'm going to visit the family at home.
he immediately noticed the problems.
Jesus. Wow. Oh my God. It's like a zoo in here.
The restaurant was outdated and the interior looked very strange. Gordon ordered several dishes, and what he tasted was shocking because the food was very spicy.
Is that always that hot in terms of spicing?
They have a tendency to spice things up a bit.
It's an embarrassment to tuna.
Yes.
Gordon even went as far as to saying their dish was an embarrassment to tuna. When Gordon tried to show the problems to Adele, she completely rejected his criticism, insisting that her food was wonderful.
It's never your doing.
We thought our food was good, but now you just, said it's horrible.
Gordon was stunned by her attitude, and he pointed out that customers were leaving negative reviews and that the restaurant was failing. But Adele refused to accept this reality. The argument between Gordon and Adele grew more intense, with Ramsay firing back, explaining that he was trying to save her restaurant and that her stubborn attitude was the biggest problem she faced. Even Bill tried to convince Adele to listen to Gordon, but she turned on him too, telling him that he didn't understand food the way she did. Despite the constant pushback, Gordon redesigned the restaurant and created a new menu with simpler, more appealing dishes. And on relaunch night, customers loved the changes. For a brief moment, it seemed like Flamingos might actually turn things around because the new decor looked fresh, the food was better, and customers were happy. But Adele was unhappy with the changes, saying the new decor was ugly and she hated it.
I don't like it.
You don't like it?
I hate blue.
Unbelievable.
I hate it. I hate it. How can you be positive about something you hate?
After Gordon's intervention, things at Flamingos took a sharp turn for the worse, because according to multiple reports, Adele immediately went back to her old ways the moment Gordon left town. She started cooking her old recipes again, ignoring the simplified menu Gordon had created. But surprisingly, the restaurant started doing better and became successful despite Adele reverting to the old menu. When Gordon visited again in 2011, he was shocked to see Adele being much nicer to him and the customers. However, Bill and Adele eventually sold the restaurant and retired in Florida. Today, the old Flamingos location is now occupied by a completely different business. While Adele struggled to accept criticism, the next restaurant owner's behavior was so extreme that it became one of the most infamous episodes in Kitchen Nightmares history. Down City was a fusion restaurant in Providence, Rhode Island, run by Abby and Rico. Right from the start, it was clear how Abby's behavior was causing the restaurant to fail.
I just want an answer.
Which is a recipe for utter disaster.
I had fixed it yesterday.
On top of that, the restaurant served a confused mix of cuisines that didn't work together. And when Gordon tasted the food, his reaction said it all. Gordon tried to tell Abby what was wrong with the restaurant.
What you're employing is a ship with no captain at the helm and the team desperate for guidance. No guidance is no standards. No standards is no consistency.
But Abby wasn't having any of Gordon's feedback. Instead of listening, she got defensive and started arguing back at every turn.
I don't think it's as bad as you say it is.
Stop being in denial!
Can you be more specific about the meatloaf? What did you not like about the meatloaf?
Oh, shit!
Can you say something besides
just loopy?
I've been called worse than that.
Wake up!
The tension between Rico and Abby didn't help either. They constantly fought in front of staff and customers. Things got even worse when Gordon discovered that the walk-in freezer was a disaster zone filled with old, rotting food. Abby's response was to start fighting with Ramsay over this, refusing to take any responsibility. Their argument got worse with Abby, going as far as calling Gordon insane for criticizing her.
Woman.
You aren't insane. You are like...
Yeah, blame me all you want. Easy excuses that you're insane.
I'm insane. You're insane.
And eventually kicking him out. But after a dinner service went wrong, Abby was humbled and finally decided to listen to Chef Ramsay.
Yeah?
Absolute shit.
I'm not here to rub your face in it. Let's get that right. But Abby, I've had failure in my life.
Who decided to step in and basically run the kitchen himself to save the night. However, this wasn't enough, as the customers were left waiting too long for the food due to the chaos in the kitchen. To fix all these problems, Gordon brought in a new head chef who would be supervising everything, which proved to be a great decision as customers were left happy. The episode ended with some hope, but it didn't last long because just months after filming, Down City closed its doors for good. Reviews before closing were brutal, with customers complaining about inconsistent food and poor service. After Down City failed, Rico and Abby's relationship fell apart too, with Abby changing careers to work as a gym trainer, and Rico working as a senior loan officer at an establishment. Their location is now taken up by another restaurant that seems to be doing well. Abby may have been stubborn, but at least she acknowledged reality. Unlike Nino, the owner of Nino's Italian restaurant in Long Beach, California, who fought Gordon in the most bizarre way possible by denying problems even existed. Nino's Italian restaurant was located in Long Beach, California, and was owned by Nino's parents, Igne and Vincenzo Cristiano, and run by their son Nino, who had a very different attitude compared to most restaurant owners on Kitchen Nightmares. When Gordon Ramsay arrived in 2012, Nino was immediately on guard. insisting that his food was great and he did a lot of work around the restaurant.
You're just trying to act like a fucking idiot?
You sound like a fucking idiot yourself.
I sound like an idiot.
Gordon quickly discovered that Nino's claims were far from the truth when he was exposed by his family, who told Chef Ramsay how Nino sat around all day watching TV.
God, this full of cobwebs. Bloody hell.
Didn't get to that one.
Bloody hell.
The tension between them grew worse when Gordon found serious cleanliness issues in the kitchen, with cobwebs all around the restaurant. To which Nino responded by bringing pictures of him cleaning and denying responsibility for the dirty restaurant.
What are the pictures of?
These are me cleaning and pulling down all the bottles, every single bottle.
I've never seen pictures of cleaning.
Viewers couldn't help but notice Nino's odd behavior, with one commenting, "That, and I think it's highly likely Nino has some undiagnosed mental condition. The way he's described by his family and how he acts leads me to think he's on the autism spectrum without him or his family knowing or caring." While another said, "Nino strikes me as a man who's given a massive burden he never wanted and torn between disappointing his family and his own life goals and can't cope, so he turned to drinking. The poor, poor bastard. I don't think he's lazy. I think he's depressed." Gordon gave Nino a brutal reality check.
And then you rate the food. 10 out of 10, perfect.
It's the best Italian food I've ever had.
Trying to get him to see the real problems his restaurant was facing. But Nino was still in his delusion, refusing to accept any criticism, with things getting even worse when Nino refused to take responsibility for the rotten food in the fridge, claiming he knew nothing about it.
Goes that rotten. Just smell that.
It can go fast.
It can what?
It can go faster than you expect.
Responsibility for what you're running.
We are about fresh food, and I'm not going to serve my customers any spoiled food if I know it's spoiled.
Despite Nino's constant pushback, Gordon managed to make some changes by cleaning up the kitchen, simplifying the menu, and trying to get Nino to see the real problems his restaurant was facing.
Oh, wow!
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Welcome to New Yanni's. It is.
After all the changes, the relaunch night went surprisingly well, with customers enjoying the improved food. However, when Gordon left, Nino reverted back to the old menu. But despite all this, Nino's Italian restaurant managed to stay open for several more years, which shocked many Kitchen Nightmares fans who expected it to fail immediately. The restaurant finally closed in 2016, but not because of the issues Gordon pointed out during his visit, but instead, Nino decided to retire and sell the business after his father Vincenzo passed away. Nino's story showed that lying and cutting corners will always catch up with you, but the next restaurant owner's fight with Gordon became one of the most memorable in the show's history. Sebastian's was a restaurant at Toluca Lake, owned by Sebastian Di Modica, an aspiring actor who seemed more interested in fame than running a successful restaurant. When Gordon Ramsay arrived, he immediately noticed that Sebastian had created one of the most confusing and ridiculous menus he'd ever seen. The menu was massive, filled with strange dish names and complicated descriptions that made no sense. And Sebastian had tried to be creative and unique, but the result was a complete disaster. Gordon ordered several dishes, and what arrived was shocking, because the food was terrible, poorly prepared, and completely unappealing, and some dishes were even dangerous to serve. When Gordon tried to explain the problems, Sebastian acted like Gordon was overreacting and didn't understand his vision.
I don't know why my business isn't there.
So you're telling me now that those 20 combinations is something that's blown your customers away?
Unbelievably.
Gordon was stunned by Sebastian's arrogance, and he pointed out that the restaurant was failing, customers were confused, and the food quality was unacceptable, and insisting that Gordon simply didn't get it. And he even accused Gordon of being close-minded.
2 years. It may not
What have
seem
you got
like
to
a lot.
show?
What have I got to show?
Yeah,
I'll tell you what I have to show.
Tell me.
Pride.
You're delusional.
That is your opinion, sir. A lot of people feel that way about you.
The argument reached a boiling point when Gordon finally snapped, raising his voice, getting right in Sebastian's face, and telling him exactly what he thought about his ridiculous attitude.
Them the other end of the fucking world.
I was basically kicked in the face. To me, that shows ignorance. Pizza ovens.
This place can become so popular for homemade, fresh, wood-burning pizza.
Gordon explained that Sebastian was delusional, that his menu was a joke, and that his restaurant would fail if he didn't wake up and face reality. Sebastian tried to argue back, but Gordon's intensity finally broke through, and for the first time, Sebastian seemed to realize just how serious the situation was. Despite Sebastian's constant resistance, Gordon redesigned the entire menu, simplified the dishes, and gave the restaurant a complete makeover. Customers loved the changes because the food was simple, delicious, and easy to understand, and for a brief moment, Sebastian seemed like it might actually succeed. However, Sebastian resisted and started sneaking his old menu back during service. But Gordon warned Sebastian that he needed to stick with the changes and stop letting his ego get in the way, and Sebastian nodded, but it was clear he wasn't fully convinced. After Gordon left, things at Sebastian quickly fell apart, because according to multiple reports, Sebastian went back to his old ways almost immediately. He started adding back his complicated menu items, ignored the simplified approach Gordon had created, and returned to his delusional thinking. Customer complaints flooded back in, and business dropped dramatically, and Sebastian's closed permanently in 2008, just a year after Gordon's intervention. Before closing, Sebastian's had terrible reviews online, with customers complaining about bad service. Why does service have to stink? They weren't even understaffed, yet it took forever to get service. Today, the old Sebastian's location in Burbank, California is occupied by another business, and Sebastian de Modica has largely disappeared from the public eye. Sebastian's story became one of the most infamous episodes in Kitchen Nightmares history, proving that fighting Gordon Ramsay and refusing to change will almost always lead to failure.